Are you concerned about your safety when you travel? I know the news shares lots of frightening stories about things going on in the world, but you don't need to be afraid to travel, you just need to be smart. So in this video, I will share 10 travel safety tips that are good for everyone. Tip number 1 is to always let someone know your plans. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 80, someone needs to know your plans. Make copies of your itinerary and share them with your family. Now, we've talked about this in another video, but you should always make copies of your important documents and your itinerary anyway, so be sure to share it with a loved one so they know where you are and can help with copies if you need it. And also keep in touch while you're traveling. Even if you only send a text, just check in and let someone know you're okay. Tip number 2 is to be aware of your surroundings. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the excitement of the trip and seeing the sights that you become oblivious to things going on around you. But you need to always be aware of who and what's going on nearby. One way to do that is to watch people. I don't mean stare, but just take note of how they react and what their body language is like. It's also a good practice to take notice of your exit points when you're in a building. Tip number 3, don't look like a tourist. When you travel to a new location, especially if it's to another country, always try to dress like the locals dress. And don't wear a lot of jewelry. You want to blend in as much as possible, and dressing differently just says, hey, I'm a tourist, and it draws attention to yourself. Tip number 4, always protect your luggage. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the airport and a total stranger has asked me to watch their luggage while they go get something to eat or to the restroom. This is a big no-no and gives too much trust to a total stranger. Also, if you wear a backpack and you're in a crowd or on a bus, always take it off and put it into your chest or in your lap. You can even put it on the floor in between your legs and hold it with one hand. When you're in crowded places where people might bump into you, it's so easy to unzip a pouch and take whatever is in it. So while you're at it, don't put anything of value in the outside pockets either. Tip number 5, don't leave valuables out in the open. If you're traveling by car, or rent a car, don't leave any valuables out for people to see. Don't even leave a phone charger in the car. Always put your valuables in the trunk and take everything inside for the night. This is also true when staying in a hotel. It's a good idea to pack your things away and put your suitcase in the closet while you're gone. And if it's something really valuable, either use the safe or take it with you. Tip number 6 is to be smart about your money. It's never a good idea to carry large amounts of cash, but if for some reason you're going to have a lot of cash on you, do not take out a large amount of cash ever. You just never know who's watching you. It's also a good idea to have your cash and credit cards in several different places, so if something does happen, you're not left completely empty-handed. Tip number 7, use ATMs wisely. If you must use an ATM, it's best to use one attached to a bank since they are less likely to be tampered with. But always look for signs of tampering anyway and jiggle the card reader. If you have any doubt, don't use it. Also, be mindful if there's anyone standing around or standing too close to you in line. In these cases, it's easier to just go somewhere else. Tip number 8 is to drink responsibly. Now, this has to be one of the most important safety tips of all. So many people like to enjoy the nightlife when they're traveling, and there's nothing wrong with that, but always drink responsibly because not only can you get lost or lose your bearings when you're drunk, but it also makes you more vulnerable to crimes and scams. And for my ladies, remember, always keep your eye on your drink and don't let a stranger give you a drink that you didn't see being prepared. Tip number 9, don't give too much personal information. It's okay to have conversations and make new friends when you're traveling, but be careful with the information you share. A common question is, where are you from? But be leery of people wanting to know, what hotel are you staying in? Are you here by yourself? If you become uncomfortable with the conversation, always remove yourself from it immediately. Don't worry about appearing rude. Your safety is always more important. And tip number 10, be aware of scams. Now I know many people feel like they can't be scammed. There are so many of them out there, sometimes it's hard to know, even for the savviest traveler. If you're going to another country, Google the common scams for your destination. Also, be careful of people using children to play on your emotions. Now I know most people aren't using taxis these days, but this used to be a big one, where they would take you the long way to your destination or say the meter isn't working. I use this example because I want you to see just how small a scam can be. It doesn't have to be a big major thing, so just be aware. If something doesn't make sense, go somewhere else or ask someone else. I hope these 10 tips will help you stay safe while you're traveling. Keep in mind, most crimes are crimes of opportunity, so taking some precautions will help you to take that opportunity away. And more than anything else, always listen to your gut. If you feel uneasy about something, there's probably a reason for it. Until next week, stay safe and remember, travel is life.